Hello, is your boy Gomi, and we are back with a UFC fight night and a special UFC fight tonight. It is a London card. So, if you don't know, back in 2021, the UFC came back to London, and that is to this day one of the best cards of all time, one of the best fight nights of all time. And since then, they've been going back to London, and it's been pretty hit or miss. They keep putting on these like really good cards, like with all these good fighters, and a lot of these cards end up kind of sucking, to be perfectly honest with you. But on paper, they end up being really good. This one seems pretty solid. I hope it'll end up being really good. Going off last week, we were exactly correct. I was exactly correct. It was a fight night with a lot of crap names and not a lot of high-level skill, but it was fun. Now then, am I cool with that? Not necessarily, to be honest with you. I am cool with it. It's just that, like, I still follow by my initial plan of one fight night in the Apex, one fight night traveling, and one pay-per-view. Just have 3 events a month. I like that. We're kind of following with that, kind of, but not really, because we had oh my god, I forgot. Next week is actually, there's an Apex card after. Okay, no, there's 2 Apex cards. I was about to say, cause sworn. What? Oh, I'm trying to look at March. No, actually only 1 Apex card this month. Interesting. All right, I take it back. I like that. We're on the fast trend. But yes, ultimately I thought the card last week was good. Too many big underdogs, one for my wallet's sake, but oh well. We're back, and we're gonna be looking at another UFC London card. My boy Edwards taking on Sean, not my boy Brady, and I messed everything up with 1 click. Oh god, I hate that picture for Brady. Alright, let's look at the card now. So first fight on the card is gonna be Guram Kutateladze versus Caio Fernandes. Guram, in my opinion, is a busted prospect. There's a lot of people who thought he was going to be that next generation of lightweights. No, he was not. He had a good win against Mateusz Gamrot. Beyond that, guy's ass kicked by Ismagulov. Guy's ass kicked by Brenner. Guy's ass kicked by freaking No, he won against Jordan Vujic. I forgot he won against Jordan Vujic. But I don't know. He's decent, but his power is overrated. I think he's good in this spot against Caio Fernandes. If he mixes in takedowns, I think he gets a W. I just always question his heart after the Brenner fight. Caio Fernandes, he's not the best overall, but he's very solid against mid competition like Muhammad Yahya. His Taekwondo style doesn't do it for me, but at the end of the day, he is a decent striker. I'm just going to lean towards Guram, but haphazardly so. I think this should probably be a pick'em. I'm going to look at the odds, and Guram's going to be a massive favorite, and I'm going to just say no. Yeah, nope, not betting that. No. I might bet Fernandes, but I just don't think Fernandes is that good. Like, man, like, Vegas is getting too sharp for a lot of this shit, man. We need some magical underdogs. But all right, yeah. Guram Kutateladze, I think we'll get it done via decision. I wrote decision very weirdly in my notes. Nathan Fletcher versus Cao Loran. This is an interesting fight because I didn't know until I was taping this fight that it is a rematch from the regional scene. And I feel it's going to go how the first fight went after watching it. Watching that first fight, I was like, yep, that's exactly how this fight I think it's going to go, except a little bit higher level. I think this is a solid fight. I think Loran is going to be a lot more durable because boy's head swelled up massively. Jesus Christ. I never watched Loran before the UFC until I watched that. Oh my god, why is the boy's head so much bigger now? But yes, Fletcher won the first fight, and it was primarily due to his better BJJ in wrestling. I favor him heavily in the grappling department. Loran is tough, durable, big ass head. I wrote that in my notes. And he can put up a good dog fight, but I question his fight IQ. His striking is also extremely basic. It's effective and it's solid, but it's so basic that you could just clip him pretty easily, in my opinion. I don't think you'll knock him out though, but I definitely think Fletcher will be able to take him down, control him on the ground. I just don't see a finish on either guy. If there was a finish, probably Loran, but I think Fletcher's too durable. So Fletcher decision is my pick. Odds wise, very even. Basically a pick 'em. Minus 125 for Fletcher. Nah, he's a slight favorite. And plus 105 for Lochran. These first two fights are pretty good. And then it just goes all downhill with Shauna Bannon versus Pooja Tomar. I mean, nothing against you, India, but they've not been producing good fighters. They've actually been producing, in my opinion, pretty poor fighters. Actually, I'm not hyped for this fight. I also don't think Shauna Bannon is that good. We keep getting these women prospects who come in and you're like, wow, they look so good in the regional scene, and then they come in the UFC and they're like, oh, or they lose, like she lost to Bruna Brazil. She had a win over Elisa Dean, who's just I'm not sold on either fighter, to be honest with you. Pooja's UFC debut was not that exciting as well too. The main thing is Shannon Bannon, I like her kicks. I think her kicks are pretty good. Tomar, she has a grappling advantage and she can definitely dominate on the ground if she gets there, but I just don't think she will, to be honest with you. I'm probably gonna say it's a dog or pass, which I'm gonna assume the dog is gonna be Tomar. But yeah, also Bannon does have a pretty big reach advantage, so that's something to point out. That's a fat reach advantage, Jesus Christ. Let's look at the odds. Yeah, that's a dog or pass. Minus 192 for Bannon, plus 160 for Tomar, but I'm just gonna pass. Christian Leroy Duncan versus Andre Pulevev. I'm not gonna lie to you, I just looked at the odds right now, and I agree with them. Christian Leroy Duncan, I think, is gonna absolutely butcher this dude. Leroy Duncan, CLD is actually like a very good fighter. Like, yeah, he lost his last fight against Robocop, and it was not that good a fight, but keep in mind they're making these poor boys fight at goddamn was it 5 in the morning? Why were they doing that? I still don't understand that. Why is this card at normal time? What is the time for this? 3 p.m. Central to London time. Yeah, this is at prime time. This is at prime time for like London. Like, I don't know why we did that last time, but that's due to the weird performance from CLD. It is a really, really weird performance. I'm not gonna hold it against him. I definitely think he is a good fighter. He's a very dynamic and very powerful striker with good wrestling. I think he's just a much better fighter overall. I think the striking is the main selling point for Pulev. His striking is very solid. Maybe even at the same level, it's both guys are really good kickboxers, but like if you put him at the same level of striking, CLD just absolutely obliterates him in grappling, and I think he has a power advantage, a pretty big one too. So I'm going to be taking CLD to get it done by TKO, and I think that's an easy pick. Hence why the odds minus 625 plus 455. And again, we saw some big favorites lost last week, but that's a confident pick. That's a lock of the night if it was worth anything. That I think it's going to be an easy win for CLD. Why is this on the prelims underneath Herbert? What the hell? What the hell? Why do we have a top 10 heavyweight and a guy fighting for top 10 heavyweight here? Why is it under Duncan and Vucic or Wood and Charrier? Why is this down here? Alright, whatever. Marcin Tybura versus Mick Parkin. Man, I can never root for my fellow Polskis. I don't want to root with you with that haircut, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Mick Parkin. I think that's also a pretty solid one. Marcin Tybura is a blob, and he does a good job of being heavy blanket when it comes to his grappling, but his power's not there, his striking's not there, and his jiu-jitsu is just above average. It's good for a heavyweight. Mick Parkin, if he keeps it standing, I think he'll go very similar to the Tom Aspinall fight. Funny enough, Mick Parkin and Aspinall are training partners, teammates. I don't think he's nearly as good as Tom Aspinall, so it's not going to be a round 1 KO, but I definitely think he's going to knock him out probably in the second or third round. There's always the worry of Tibura being the blanket. That is a worry, but if he keeps it standing, Tibura's boxing is just not there. Parkin's boxing is pretty good, and again, he's training with Tom. Tom is gonna make sure he drills in that takedown defense to him. If he doesn't, he fails as a teammate. Oh, his tea is so good. But yeah, I'm gonna be going with Mick Parkin to get done by TKO. He is a slight favorite, -112 to -108 for Tibura. I'm leaning a lot towards Parkin. I think that's actually a very solid line for Parkin, because I'd put him on -200 to be honest with you, maybe -180. So -112 for most places, -105. He's an underdog at Betway. Never heard of that, but I would definitely take that. That right there is a freaking good line right there. Loner Kavanaugh versus Felipe Dos Santos. Two guys I'm not sold on, but I am much less sold on Felipe Dos Santos. Felipe Dos Santos looked really good in his debut, which was a loss. He's a shoot to box guy, and these shoot to box guys, I've overrated them. I think it's really Charles Oliveira was a breakout, was a standout. Well, even then, Charles Oliveira has lost here and there. I just think they all fight, like all these Oliveira clones fight the same way, and it just doesn't work if you don't have Charles' power of finishing tenacity. Loner Kavanaugh is just a very, very good and efficient striker. Simple as that. I just think he's overall going to be the better fighter. He'll land the bigger shots, especially when Sloptos gets sloppy. And I like Loner Kavanaugh's body kicks. So I think that's a pretty easy pick for him. I don't think he's going to be finishing him, to be honest with you. Did I write? Yeah, I wrote decision. I was supposed to say there. I feel like maybe a TKO, but no. Felipe Dos Santos is shown to have a chin on him. Or Manel Kopp doesn't hit hard. You pick. So I'm going with Loner Kavanaugh to get it done by decision. Man, Jai Herbert, they just have him in Loner Kavanaugh's -305, Felipe Dos Santos +245. But back to what I was saying, man, they just take Jai Herbert and they just put him in like a shed, and it's like, we're going to London, and then they just break him out. Like, what the heck is this? Was he falling? Yeah, that was the London card. Yeah, it was the last London card. He only fights in the London cards. That was the only fight in the London card. He only fights in the London cards. Bedoya, there we go. He fought in UAE. All right. This was a London card, wasn't it? It was. And this was a London. He fights in all the London cards. I get it. It's his home base, but still, it's funny. They just hold him in a shed. It says London card, London. This was not London. And he's back in a London card. Oh, it's so weird. They do something similar. John Gooden on the commentary team, which I find hilarious. But yes, Jai Herbert is taking on Chris Padilla. This is a hard one for me, but I'm going to go with Padilla to knock out Herbert in his hometown again, Herbert. I think he has very good fight IQ. He studies his opponents very well. I just think he's overall a better striker. The wrestling is important because Herbert, when he gets like kind of like in that zone, he gets out of the zone of wrestling and he gets taken down pretty easily. He's got slick striking. I just think he's a step behind though, and I think he's also going to get knocked out because I think it's going to be a ground and pound TKO, to be honest with you, or get him thinking about the wrestling and go up high. I don't know. I just got a feeling about it. That one's not hugely based. Oh, I picked an underdog. +105 for Chris Padilla and -125 for Jai Herbert. I like that underdog pick for Chris Padilla. And on to the main card, Nathaniel Wood versus Morgan Charrier. I'm going with Morgan Charrier. This is a hard one. I think Nathaniel Wood is very solid in just all aspects. I just think he's a very basic kind of fighter. Good grappling, good striking. But Morgan Charrier, he goes tit for tat. He swangs and bangs. He can be chaotic. He can be technical. He's just dog. And Nathaniel Wood, I've seen him outdogged. Simple as that. I don't think Nathaniel Wood has the same level of dog that a Morgan Charrier is. He's not the kind of guy to get in there in the firefight. He's the guy to kind of pick your shots, get his takedowns, whatever. I just am not super... I won't say I'm not super high on Wood, but I just don't think he's as good as a lot of people think he is. Also, he's not knocking out Morgan Charrier. He's got to really mix in the wrestling if he wants success, but I think Charrier is going to get it done. I think he's powerful. I think he wants to take him out. I know he lost to Shepe, but Shepe is a freaking wood chipper. Morgan Charrier did not let him just be a wood chipper on him, though. He fought back. So give me Morgan Charrier to get it done. I think decision, though, because I don't think Wood's going to get finished. Maybe, but I doubt it. I really thought Wood would be the favorite. Plus 140 for Wood, minus 170 for Charrier. Jordan Vucinic versus Chris Duncan. I don't like this fight. I don't know. None about this fight really kind of like stood out to me and it really like jumped out at me. Yeah, Duncan could be a dog, but I think his striking and grappling aren't enough for Vucinic. And I think Vucinic is the better grappler overall. That's all I have to say about this one. Not gonna go super in depth with Vucinic. Decision is my pick, but not confident one. And Vucinic is minus 340 plus 270 for Chris Duncan. So I don't know about this one, boys. I don't know about this one. Molly again. Molly just whipping her out whenever it's... I should not have said it like that. Just Molly is just whipping it out whenever it's whenever it's a freaking London card, which is also funny. But yeah, I just have to lean against Molly McCann because from what I've seen against Alexia Thanada, she's a grappler. Simple as that. She's a good grappler. I just can't trust Molly McCann in the grappling realm. She did get that nice submission 2 fights ago. Yeah, but like I just yeah, I don't know. It was against a nobody, Deanna. I just think Molly McCann is just not good. They're supposed to have her fight Estela Nunes, that I'm looking at it, because I knew this was a short notice replacement for Alexia. I was trying to see who she's replacing. Yeah, they were trying to feed Molly a can, but now they gave her an actual good fighter. I think Molly's gonna lose by submission, but I don't know. I would like Molly to get some nice knockouts like she did in the past, but she only knock out cans because she herself is a can. Gunnar Nelson, another just bust him out. Just bust him out whenever it comes to a freaking goddamn London card. But I'm gonna have to go with this is a hard one. My boy Kevin Holland, man. I'm just gonna say, if this was a Kevin Holland that I fell in love with back in 2020, it's an easy W for him. But it's just he hasn't been there, man. He doesn't give a shit anymore. I don't like his striking now. It's like a lot more loopy and it's a lot less like fluid and crispy nowadays. It's also a lot less his grappling's got... I just can't pick Kevin Holland, but I don't want to pick Gunnar Nelson. But I think Gunnar Nelson's going to get it done. I think Gunnar Nelson by submission, but I'm going to hate that pick when Kevin Holland just pieces him apart like he did against Michael Chiesa or he did against Michal Olejniczak, because he finishes those bums. But like, do I really want to say Ryan de Ritter is not bummy after the GM3 performance? Do I really want to say that? I'm going to have to say that if he beats Gunnar Nelson. So this is a really weird fight for me. I don't know. I just want the old Kevin Holland back. I want him to win. I want to just have a foot in my mouth and just Kevin Holland just blitzes and beats the shit out of Gunnar Nelson. But you know it's bad when a dude gets mad at people because they're asking him about the title. Yeah, no. Holland plus 120, Nelson minus 142. I agree with it. And now onto the fight that I have cards for, not you. This is going to be the co-main event of the evening, a light heavyweight matchup between Jan legendary Polish Power Blachowicz versus Carlos Ulberg. Oh, another one of my boys. Oh man, so I have two of my top 10 favorite fighters on here, Jan and Leon, and I am not gonna like this card. But yes, Jan Blachowicz is 40 fucking 2. 29 wins, 10. I didn't line it up. 29 and 10 for his record. God damn. 9 KOs, 9 submissions, 6'2" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 78-inch reach advantage, a 1.09 takedown average, a 58.35% significant strike accuracy, a plus 170 underdog. Significant wins over Alexander Rakic, Israel Adesanya, Dominic Reyes, and Corey Anderson. Yikes. Carlos Ulberg is 34 years old, 12 wins, 1 loss, 7 knockouts, 2 submissions, 6'4" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 77-inch reach disadvantage, a 0.72 takedown average, a 57.48% significant strike accuracy, minus 235 favorite. Significant wins over Volkan Oezdemir, Alonzo Menefield, Ihor Porteria, and Dawoon Jung. Gotta say, their significant wins is not good for either guy, actually. The Oezdemir one is good. Ihor Porteria, Alonzo Menefield. Oh my god. And then Jan's Rakic is just not Reyes. Then again, that was peak Reyes, right after losing John Jones. And then Izzy wins good. Corey Anderson, that's so old. That's ancient. Jesus Christ. Jan's old. He has not looked good in his last couple fights. Looked okay against Alex, but that's also because they were, he was just wrestling him, and it was also elevation. He didn't look good. He didn't even look good his win against Rakic. That was an injury, bro. Rakic busted his knee or whatever. I don't know. I don't like Jan Blachowicz in the spot, which makes me sad. He's one of my favorites, but I just think he's not gonna get it. If you wonder why he's one of my favorites, by the way, look at the Reyes fight. Look at the peak Jan hype. That was dope, and he's Polish. I really want to root for the Polskis. I want them to succeed, but there's no good Polskis. Jan was the best. He was the champ, but I don't know. Carlos Ulberg, on the other hand, he's younger. He's got momentum. He's dangerous. He's an accurate striker, and he's got good takedown defense. I like him better in all aspects other than the leg kicks. If you try to play the leg kicking game with Jan, which Ulberg does do, being a city kickboxing boy, Jan could piece him up. And Jan has been the best fighter from city kickboxing, if you don't count Volk, Israel Adesanya. There's a possibility that Jan just pulls out the stops, but 2-year layoff, horrible shoulder injury, and the momentum of Ulberg. And I think Ulberg is a very good fighter, very talented. I'm very excited to see what he does. And I normally would root for him. I still probably am. It's just that, I love Jan, but it's just better for division if the momentum keeps going up. And Ulberg versus Magomed Ankalaev, that's a fun fight. So I don't know. I like the counter striking much better of Ulberg. He's just gonna give Jan the kicks, and his straight rights can be aight, but they're a little telegraphed, a little basic. So I don't know. Give me Carlos Ulberg to get it done, probably by TKO, to be perfectly honest with you. And on to the main event of the evening. Leon Rocky Edwards versus Sean Brady. Leon Edwards is 33 years old, 22 wins, 4 losses, 7 knockouts, 3 submissions, 6'2" in terms of height, southpaw stance, 74-inch reach advantage, a 1.25 takedown average, a 60.48% significant strike accuracy, plus 130 underdog. Significant wins over Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman ×2, Nate Diaz, and RDA. Yeah. And Sean Brady is going to be 32 years old, 17 wins, 1 loss, 3 knockouts, 5 submissions. Yeah, you call Leon Edwards boring. Look at how much more finishes Leon Edwards has. 5'10" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 72-inch reach disadvantage, a 3.49 takedown average, 67.30% significant strike accuracy, minus 155 favorite. Significant wins over Gilbert Burns, Kelvin Gastelum, and Michael Chiesa. Jesus Christ, those aren't much better wins for you, Brady. But yes, a lot of people are putting doubt on Leon Edwards, but I'm just gonna say it now. I don't care what anybody says, but fighting at 5 a.m. absolutely affected him. It absolutely did. And I'm just not ready to accept Bilal is insane destroyer that we all think he is. And Bilal finished Brady. Bilal was Brady. Brady is Bilal's only finish in his, like, what, 11 or 12 fight win streak. That's freaking sad, man. I like Leon Edwards in this matchup. The grappling is a worry, and Brady can be a kind of boring lane play grappler unless you're, you know, Kelvin Gastelum. A lot of people are like high on Brady because of what he did against Gastelum, but they don't forget that decision against, oh, I'm supposed to be showing this. Where is it? Decision. Oh, he submitted Jake Matthews. Cool. Oh, he submitted Aguilera. Cool. Awful. Decision. You can't. I don't know. I've been a fan of Leon Edwards since his UFC debut. I've been a fan of him when he got the fastest knockout in welterweight history for a minute. I like Edwards' striking. I think his striking is very, very good. It's just his problem he's always had, I've always criticized him about it, is his hesitancy. He doesn't have the dog or killer instinct. But if he did, he'd be holding the belt right now. Would be one of the best fighters in the absolute world. And honestly, I'd be afraid for like a guy like Islam Makhachev to go up there. But his grappling is awful. If you just, not even his grappling's decent. Look, he took down Usman and defended his takedowns. Yeah, no knees Usman, but that Usman was surviving on the ground against Hamza Chimaev. His grappling is good. It's just if you put any pressure on him, which Brady does do, he wilts. If Leon Edwards just steals himself and he doesn't wilt, he can beat the piss out of Brady. Brady's striking is awful. He fights with the most basic of boxing, and that's how Bilal Muhammad was able to outbox him. If you can't get to the ground and he relies on his boxing, Leon Edwards should chew him the fuck up. But I don't know if it'll happen. I think he has more of a chance than my other favorite, Jan, to be honest with you. But again, momentum, not age. No surgery, no layoff, but momentum is on Brady's side. And again, Leon Edwards has that awful hesitancy, but it's a normal time. He needs to get it back. I think Leon Edwards could win this one. I'm going to put faith in Leon to get it done via decision, but God, just knock him out. Please just knock out Brady. I don't know how people like Brady, to be honest with you. I don't find him exciting at all. I've always been very critical of, I think Brady's a boring fighter, and I'm one of the few people who picked Bilal Muhammad to beat his ass, by the way. I don't know. I'm leaning towards Leon Edwards. I think he can win. It's just that I don't think it's a high confidence lean. I agree with those odds. I like the dog money for Leon, and hey, Leon is one of the biggest dogs I've ever cashed. I took him by knockout. It's a plus money, and I won a good bit of money against the Usman fight, the second one. So I don't know. I'm going Leon Edwards. I think he gets done, and I hope he gets it done. And that has been UFC London. On paper, decent card, but these London cards are always on paper like really like decent. Like 304. That was 304, right? Was it UFC 304? What was it? No, I don't want to watch a recap. Yeah, UFC 304. Bro, on paper, that should have been one of the best cards of all time. But just like, again, it's just because of like the time I think it is. But like that card had so many good matchups. A lot of the same people. Oh my God. A lot of really good matchups, but just didn't turn out good. So I don't know. Once again, this has been your boy Gomi. Please let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And bye-bye.